While the Avengers may have been the first ones to do it big, it does not mean that they are the best. Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It is Halloween here still for us, and I am your host, Amanda McKnight / Ruby Roundhouse from Jumanji 2. What makes a superhero team the best? Many things. How powerful they are, how successful they are, sometimes how efficient they can be. But beyond that, the most important thing that a superhero team needs to get most people's attention is epic stories. We're going to be taking a look at some teams whose stories are just that, epic. In fact, more epic than the Avengers, as we count down the top 10 superhero teams better than the Avengers. Alright, let's kick some butt, do some dance fighting, and take names as we get counting. Number 10, Dark Avengers. Okay. While I know the Dark Avengers may be seen to some as a group of supervillains, Norman Osborn was genuinely trying to create a replacement for a superhero team when he put them together. So though the team may be comprised of villains, I would still consider it a superhero team. While the Dark Avengers may not save the day like their more shiny and cordial counterparts, they are definitely more complex and interesting. The members of the team often have to work harder to save the day, working to overcome their own internal and moral struggles, wrestling with the type of person they want to be, and adapting to seeing themselves even as heroes. Number 9, Birds of Prey. DC's Birds of Prey are probably one of the most underrated team that DC has. While they are popular, it has taken quite a while for them to hit the mainstream. They appeared in the Batman animated series, had a short-lived TV show in the early 2000s, and have only now just got their own film. The saddest part of the film is that it won't even be exactly what you imagine if you're a huge fan of the comic series, subbing out Barbara Gordon's Oracle for Harley Quinn in terms of who appears to be acting as their leader on screen. The original core members for the team were Black Canary and Huntress, with Oracle acting as their leader. Gail Simone's inventive writing and all the strong girl power associated with the team is what puts this series in a league of its own. Although the team members often hold different morals or values, they manage to put them aside to work together and save the day, supporting one another. Girl power at its best. Number 8, Eternals. Why are the Eternals so cool? Because they help to build a bridge between the archetypal heroes of mythology and the modern superheroes we have today. The Eternals were created by Jack Kirby in 1976 as a group of superpowered and ancient beings who believed they were put on Earth by the Celestials to act as its defenders. Beyond being ancient and pretty much all-powerful, they have had an effect on the Earth's history by actually being the characters whom they share their names with from our own mythology. Circe, for example, is the same Circe who falls in love with and seduces Odysseus. Number 7, New Guardians. New Guardians is a team comprised of different colored lanterns, more specifically a representative from each color of lantern. The team originally banded together to take down the Black Lanterns, as multiple colors are required to defeat a Black Lantern, and all colors of the emotional spectrum are required to destroy Black Lanterns for good, by combining together to create white light, the light of creation. Whether it's the old team or the newest version of the New Guardians, which has their own comic series and was brought together by Kyle Rayner, both are able to accomplish impressive feats when combining their powers. Number 6, Defenders. I'm not talking about the television show. For this one, we are going straight to the comics and straight to the original Defenders lineup. This team was a team of happenstance brought together by Dr. Stephen Strange to defeat Yandroth. The team's inaugural members were Namor the Submariner, Hulk, and Silver Surfer. Definitely an impressive group to start. Other long-term members include Hellcat, Nighthawk, Valkyrie, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Although the original Defenders team shares some members with their TV counterpart, the premise felt much more orchestrated than the comics' ragtag crew of powerhouses. Number 5, Fantastic Four. Truly the heart at the center of Marvel. The Fantastic Four are believed to have come about at a time when the offices were actually just about ready to close due to financial strain. They saved Marvel, and for that reason alone, in the sense that simply their creation saved the day and paved the way for teams like the Avengers who would come after them, they are one of the best teams that Marvel has. Yeah, did you know that Fantastic Four actually came first? They debuted in 1961, whereas the Avengers would not make their comic appearance until 1963. Without the Fantastic Four, we probably would not even have the Avengers. Fantastic Four was a labor of love for Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, the same team that brought us the Avengers, and created countless other well-loved Marvel characters. Fantastic Four were designed to push boundaries when it came to the idea of what a superhero was. Lee wanted them to be flawed, almost monstrous, which ultimately changed the story for a superhero. They didn't go out looking to protect humanity, they were just brilliant minds and explorers who were simply tasked with the responsibility after a tragic accident resulted in them getting superpowers. Number 4. Doom Patrol. The best thing about this group is that they are so outlandish. While Marvel may have the X-Men and Fantastic Four, this team truly stands in a league of their own. They also came out just slightly ahead of the X-Men, though I would argue the two definitely have enough differences to make them stand apart in the best of ways. Namely that Doom Patrol does not try to sugarcoat the bizarre. They truly embrace their weirdness, and it's glorious. This is especially highlighted during Grant Morrison's run in the series, whose style was then also incorporated into the DCEU show for Doom Patrol. In fact, while Marvel is good at consistently creating a dark, real world for their own superhero dramas thus far, I would say Doom Patrol is the DC show that proves why it just really works better for DC than Marvel. It's a show that is able to take the bizarre and tie it to reality by exploring how one would really deal with the scenarios that we see the team come up against. They are just as surprised as we are. Doom Patrol doesn't just force or paint on the idea of dark or strange. Doom Patrol is dark and strange. Number 3. Guardians of the Galaxy. Many casual superhero fans had not even heard about this team before they joined the MCU, it's true. Despite that the original comic book team were not quite as successful as the Avengers, I would still argue that in some areas even they are still better. Remember, better isn't all about money and success, and to add to that, the MCU Guardians are definitely better than MCU Avengers. Both versions of the Guardians are actually more out there, making it easier for their fans to be able to enjoy more outlandish stories without question. Let's not forget the original Guardians squad was comprised of supers from the future and a ton of different aliens. One of the members, Krugar, was even Sorcerer Supreme, and the original Alita was actually two entities sharing one body. Alita and Stakar Orgod were both Starhawk. A prime example of how crazy their stories were can be given by taking a look at the character of Starhawk. These step-siblings and later married couple took turns inhabiting the superpowered being while the other just chilled in limbo. The two ended up being married, had kids, but divorced after Stakar started hogging time as Starhawk. In terms of the MCU, Guardians is funnier and feels more likely to just take us anywhere. Its heroes are often more complex as they strive to do good, but also are sometimes just a band of space pirates. Also, Groot. Need I say more? Number 2. Teen Titans. Whether you're reading the comics or watching the original animated series Teen Titans, this group of superheroes are great. Mostly because of their bonds and how grounded they often are, while still being so fantastical and super. Especially when watching the animated series, I always found the problems they would deal with would have an underlying arc that would be kinda relatable. It's taking small problems, enlarging them to make them more entertaining, but still keeping an amount of honesty and relatability to keep you connected. Storytelling at its best. While the MCU may be known for having some of Hollywood's best talent around, the animated Teen Titans had some of the best voices, including Tara Strong, Ron Perlman, and Kevin Michael Richardson. Number 1. X-Men. Yeah, you probably knew I was going there if you know me. The X-Men have been around for just as long as the Avengers, but their stories have been ever more zany and interesting. Okay, so granted, some of the Avengers plots have been kinda zany, but usually more zany in a problematic way than the X-Men's plots, which are usually just weird as heck instead, and a lot more fun. Remember when Kitty Pryde got stuck in a giant bullet and was lost in space for years till Magneto pulled her back? Or when Jubilee became a vampire? And those two X-Men aren't even considered the mains of the main roster. The best thing about the X-Men is even if you've fallen off the bandwagon with them at some point, they always have something to bring you back into the fold. Hickman's newest X-Men series have done just that, reimagining the X-Men but still managing to continue the continuity. If you are behind on House of X or Powers of X, by the way, or if you've just left the X-Men behind, you need to come back and you need to read these new series. They are both brilliant. I'm so excited for all the new X-Men comics. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. I hope you enjoyed this list. To be fair, the Avengers are a fantastic superhero team, but it does feel unfair that they get so much attention. I get it, they're amazing, and they're stacked in terms of their gigantic roster, but there are some teams out there whose stories also deserve to be told, who have a more important story to share, and who also deserve some of that limelight. What are some superhero teams that you like better than the Avengers? If the Avengers is your favorite team, why? If you had to replace the Avengers in the MCU with another Marvel team, which team would you choose to step in as the protectors of Earth? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like, sub, share, ring our bell, and comment for a chance to have your words featured in a future video. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, aka Ruby Roundhouse, reminding you to watch out for snakes and stay nerdy, YouTube.